Hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us at today's live stream. We'll start in a few minutes to give a few people a chance to join us. But even if you're watching this recording afterwards, thank you for joining us. And we hope you'll find today's information session useful. Venus, if you can, maybe you can share a little tidbit. What are we talking about today?
Sure. So today we're talking about how to prepare for your meeting with the financial advisor. This can relate to any meeting that you have with the bank representative, but also particularly if you are meeting the financial advisor for the career loan application that you sent in.
If you're watching this, leave a comment if you have any questions. If you just want to say hi, if you just want to chat, leave a comment. Or even if you're recording, or even if you're watching this afterwards as a recording, do leave a comment and we will get back to you as soon as we can to answer your questions. Absolutely. Are you ready to start now, Venus?
Sure, we can go.
Okay, so after your talk, we will ask you some questions, and of course, if there's any live questions, I'll try to get them on as well. So take it away, Venus.
Sure, happy to answer them all. Great. All right. Yes, thank you for joining us today. So we're going to be talking about how to prepare when you're meeting with your financial advisor. Like I said, it's not only for the purpose of career loan application. In general, when you're meeting with any bank representative. So you wanted to make sure that prior to the meeting, you ask the representative what you need to bring with you into the meeting, into the session. Usually it's proof of income, and that can be your most recent pay stubs as well as letter of employment. And if you are actually using household income, meaning that you are including your partner's income in the application, not in the form of a cosigner or guarantor, just in the form of a household income to support the loan application, you need to also bring proof of income for your partners. So in the same way, it could be the pay stubs as well as a letter of employment. Now, letter of employment, really, you need to ask the financial advisor whether it's required or not. We know that it takes some time to prepare that and ask that from your employer. So make sure if it's a requirement, you ask in advance so you give yourself time to have the letter once you walk into the meeting. Now, based on your family situation, you can have your partner on maternity leave, or even yourself, you can be on parental leave. So all that, and if you are getting paid the maternity benefit or parental benefit, EI, you can actually bring that to the session as like part of your income to the session with the financial advisor. Again, you need proof for that. As well as if you're collecting any other benefits, you can include that. All of this shows to the bank representative that there is enough income to support the loan. So it's important to walk in with the proof of that income. And one other documents that you need is your identity documents. Make sure you ask what is required, whether you need to have a proof of residency with you as well, and what that identification or proof could be, and make sure you have that when you walk into that session. Another thing is proof of enrollment or admission to the learning program. This is specifically for career loans. So if you're required to show that to the bank representative, make sure you have that. And whether it's enrollment letter or admission, it depends on them. So you wanted to ask to make sure that you're bringing the right documents with you. Now, some of like this is what that happened before. Some of my clients, they had job offer letter, and I did not know that they already have a letter, a job offer, because this can greatly enhance and make your application strong. So there was no talk about it, and my client did not bring this letter to the session, and afterward we realized. So I strongly advise you that if you have a job offer letter, make sure you bring that with you, because that shows that, you know, after you complete your training, you're going to be employed by this company, and then there's more income to basically service the loan that you're applying for. And you know, the questions that you need to ask in that session is when your application is going to be submitted for review. Remember, when you are sitting in that meeting, basically the financial advisor is checking all the documents, going through the application, make sure that everything is ready to be submitted for review. So you want to make sure that you have the date, because it's not instant on the same, it can be on the same day, but it's not instant. It's not like your application is under review and you're meeting with the financial advisor. It's not yet. So you want to make sure that you know that date. Another important date to ask is that when is the approval timeline, right? And whether you can communicate with the financial advisor about timeline during, like prior to that date coming up, if you need to follow up, and what happens if you don't hear from them. I strongly advise for career loan applications, you actually include your career counselor email in, like copy them in the email to make sure that we are aware of the communication, and in case if we need to support you, we know what kind of communication has taken place already. Another thing is asking about the loan decision date, because that gives you a frame of mind to organize yourself. Usually you wanted to have the loan dispersed to you well before, like a few days before the deadline for the payment of your program. So you want to make sure that the dates kind of aligns well here. And always when you're following up, as I said, make sure that you're including your career counselor email in that, so that I can be kept in the loop to know what's going on. And I guess that's it for preparing for a meeting with your financial advisor. And now we can actually see if there is any question. Glad to answer them.
Thanks, Venus. So a lot of good information to talk about before meeting your financial advisor. Let's just see if we have a few questions. I do have a few questions for you, Venus. And like anyone, for anyone who's watching, do feel free to type them in now, or if you're watching this as a recording, do type them in, do type your questions in the comments, and we will try to get back to you as soon as possible. So one common question I get is, does shopping around at different banks or lenders, can that negatively impact my credit score?
Excellent question. So when we say shopping around, are we just stepping to a financial institution, or are we just inquiring about various loan products they have? And are we just inquiring, or we are actually sending an application in for review? Anytime you send an application in for review, that institution actually pull a credit bureau, and that can negatively impact your, it bring down your credit score a few points, right? Now, if you visit a few financial institutions and then basically shop around for a loan from these institutions, each time that they send an application in for review and get a credit bureau, your credit score is going to be reduced. So I would strongly advise not to do that, basically. And make sure that you just inquire and you let them know in the beginning of your conversation that you are not ready yet to send an application in for review. You're just inquiring.
Yeah. So then it really gets to that point, you know, if the bank or the lender, they do that check that's when it can negatively impact your credit score. So just make sure you let them know I'm only asking questions, I'm only looking around, and not for them to actually do that credit
Actually
check.
clearly say, I don't want a credit check to be done on my account right now. I'm just inquiring. So then the person knows and do not initiate that communication, because they can easily with the press of a button.
Absolutely. Another question also about the credit score, very important when we're applying for a loan. Do you recommend newcomers to check their credit score frequently?
Another good question. It is always advisable to be aware of your credit, the credit that is kept on your behalf in credit history, in credit companies, basically. You wanted to make sure that you know what's going on. So it's good to check it, I would say yearly, to be aware if everything is in order and to be aware of your score. Do you need to address anything or not? If you do, when you're not actively seeking a loan, please do that. Address an issue in your credit history. So make sure that everything is in order and organized. If you need to communicate with one of your credit companies, please do. So that when the day comes that you wanted to apply for a loan, your credit is good to go for review to anybody who's reviewing your file. Yeah.
Right. And the first question, we talked about having the banks check your credit score for you, which can negatively impact your score. But if I were to go, or a newcomer or anyone else, if they were to go and ask for a credit check about themselves, how does that affect the credit score, or does it at all?
Sure. So that is not going to affect your credit score. If you go to it used to be two credit report providing companies directly. And I think you have to sign up with them and ask for a credit report with this score. Sometimes there is a fee. I don't know how is it set up. That sometimes there is a fee, sometimes there is not. But the fee is not that much, and it's really worth it for you to check it once a year. That is not going to affect your credit score negatively, because yourself basically just inquiring to make sure everything is in order. You don't see anything that you did not apply for on your credit history. That should not be the case. So you wanted to make sure your score is good. If it's not good, then you wanted to seek ways, like seek help from some credit counseling organizations to see how you can actually work on your credit to improve your credit score. So it is very important to be aware actually of your credit activity that is kept on in these companies on your behalf, and also your score to make sure everything is in order. If you need to address anything, you do. And then once the time comes that you wanted to apply for a loan, you can just confidently walk into a bank and say, I know my credit score. It is this. I checked it 2 months ago. Right? So
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Venus. And if we have any future audience members who are watching the recording of this video, do leave your comments, questions, and we will try to respond as soon as possible. Now, November is Financial Literacy Month, and I want to invite everyone to join us again on Facebook Live on November 19th. Venus and I will be back. Next time, we'll be talking about the importance of financial literacy. What is it, and why do newcomers, not even newcomers, everyone basically, why do we need this skill? So we hope to see you on November 19th at 11:30 a.m. Mountain Time for another Facebook Live session. Thank you very much, Venus.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for joining, and have yourself a great day and a great weekend when it comes.
Take care, everyone.
Thanks, Kevin. Bye-bye.